Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. For those that are new, my name is Nelly. Not everyone is called to be married. Maybe you've been asking God, when is He going to bring that someone who you're going to spend the rest of your life with and have a family? When it comes to marriage, it can be a blessing when you're married to the right person, or even a curse when you're married to the wrong person. What you don't realize is God's plans may be different from your plans. That's why He wants you to be single. And it's something that you may not understand. Today we're going to talk about why God wants you to be single. One of the reasons why God may want you to be single is because it's not the right time. God's timing is always the best. You may feel like you're ready to get married, and yet that's not God's plan for you. He's aware of your desire to get married, but God's timing is always the best. It's better to wait for His timing than end up marrying the wrong person. Your desires of getting married will make you end up settling for less than what God has for you. That is why sometimes He will even prevent you from entering into a relationship. Sometimes you'll be so busy with your work and your career that you don't even have time for a relationship. And yet God is preventing you from entering wrong relationships because He feels like it's not the right time yet. Sometimes He wants you to be single because He's working on your character. You may think you're ready to get married, and yet your character is not ready. Because when it comes to marriage, it's the test. It will test you in all ways. It will test your character. It will test you whether you're patient, whether you've got faith. So if you don't have the fruit of the Spirit, then you need to work on it. Because when it comes to marriage, you may need those fruit of the Spirit, and yet your character is not ready. At times when you're married, there are times when you'll be so angry and you feel like you're boiling inside. This is when you have to slow down with your anger. So if your character doesn't allow you to slow down at times because you want to say it as it is at that moment, this might jeopardize your marriage. You would have been different when you say them when you've cooled down. So that is why sometimes you need to slow down with your anger. That is why Proverbs 21 verse 9 reads, "It's better to live in the corner of a rooftop than share it with a quarrelsome wife." Why would someone want to live in the rooftop? It's because you're always quarrelsome. So if your character doesn't allow you to, you're always quarrelsome, you always want to say the last word, then it will be difficult in this marriage. When you cannot exercise patience for anyone, then it will be difficult to even exercise patience for your partner. Because you live with this person day in and out, and sometimes they can get you into your nerves. But you have to deal with it. So that is why God wants you to work on yourself. He wants you to use your singleness in order to work on yourself, in order to work on your character. So when you don't know, just ask God. Ask God to search deep down in your heart what you need to change in order for you to work on it. There are times when you're not even aware that you've got character issues until somebody tells you. Don't feel offended about it. Just use that as a lesson to work on yourself. Sometimes God wants you to be single in order for you to heal from past relationship or even family. It could be from your past relationships or even your family upbringing. There are things that maybe you are holding on to them that you need to let go in order for you to sometimes heal. We hold on to the past so much that we don't get to heal properly. And that may affect your relationships or even the people around you. Because when you enter a relationship and you've not healed enough, that could be an invitation for disaster. So God may be concerned about you and the person that you want to bring into your life. So that is why He wants you to heal from your past in order for you to have a healthy relationship. So that you don't find yourself attracting the same kind that is broken like you. Sometimes God wants you to be single in order for you to focus on Him. At times we're so focused in what's happening around us rather than focusing on God. We're so busy that it obstructs our ability to even hear God. There's so much distraction around us that everything is about now. We don't have the patience to wait on God anymore. At times God pulls us from human relationships in order to draw that attention to Him. That is why sometimes loneliness will help us focus more on God. because you don't have anything to distract you. We can't hear that small voice talking to us because our minds are distracted. Our minds are too occupied. Sometimes God wants you to be single in order to move you from those unhealthy relationships. You want to be married, but you still keep those friends that focus on earthly things. How will your partner find you? There's a say that says, birds of the same feather flock together. Even though it's not necessarily true, but your partner doesn't know that. God may remove you from these kind of friends that you are keeping, and maybe you don't want to remove yourself from them. And the next reason, God may want to prepare you for future ministry. What I mean about that is God may permit you to be single in order to minister to others. Maybe you've been through something and God wants you to minister to those people, someone that has been hurt before, and you have the experience. So when He comforts us in all our troubles, you need to do the same to someone else as well and comfort them as well. And there are things you may not do when you're already married because your focus is elsewhere. You won't be able to do that assignment. You're too occupied with your own family and the person that you're married to. So some of these things they're better done when you're single because there are decisions that you need to take that cannot be done alone. At times, this is a time when you use your singleness to serve God fully, to get closer to God. And that way you'll know Him better. And you'll also learn to rely on Him rather than relying on human, because humans can disappoint you. That also prepares you when you're married. Whenever there's a problem, you will know who to go to. So singleness sometimes can be a blessing, even though some people think it's not a blessing. Some people feel like they would rather be married than be single. And yet when you're single, there's so many things that you can do, which you cannot do when you're married. Not realizing that even when you are married, you can be miserable as well. As much as you feel like you're miserable when you're single. This is when you realize that you are better off when you're single than when you're now married. Especially if you've married the wrong partner. Marriage is great, but it can become destructive. There are things that you would want to achieve that your partner can hold you back from achieving them. When you are single, you have all the time to invest on yourself. But the problem is the world has made us feel like you need to be married. And yet you don't. Even the destiny that God had for you will have to be rearranged. Because the person that you're married to was not meant to be part of your destiny. I'm not saying everyone is meant to be married, but when God wants you to be single, it's for a reason. Just embrace it. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. God bless you.